Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another episode on Critical Crix's Workshop. Today's episode, we start a series of episodes where I paint all the chromatic dragons. And we start with the white dragon. Hey, what's going on everybody? On today's episode, we're going to be painting up the young white dragon from WizKids here. So, going to start with some Void Shield blue. It's like an icy colored blue. Now, I've seen a few different videos on how to paint this dragon, and I didn't really agree with it. And the monster manual's picture of a white dragon is just kind of dull to me. So what I decided to do was I'm going to put a base coat here of that Void Shield blue, and I want to thin it out. I don't want it to be really thick going on here, only because we're going to use this as like an undercoat, and I want the dragon to look frosty and icy, because white dragons live on the highest mountain peaks and the coldest mountain peaks, so they're going to be a little frosty. So I'm just continuing that base coat here. This dragon has a lot of nooks and crannies, and I want this base coat to have really good coverage, but I don't want it to be overpowering. I still want it to be kind of transparent with the white here. And it's going to look even better when I do a dry brush of the white over the top of this. So next up, we're going to go in with some Warlock purple for the wings here. Now, white dragons have these like subtle clues of purple on the edges of their wings. So we're going to go in with this Warlock purple, and we're going to do a dry brush to simulate that. Now I chose to do this with a more of a coarse type brush, just to give it like that edgy effect. And here I'm just doing the same thing on the other side. Nothing too special about this. Just, I don't want to overpower the wings here. And I just want the edges to have that Warlock purple. It's going to be a nice gradient effect with the white here once we dry brush the white over it. I know it looks horrible right now, but like I said, once we put the dry brush of the white on there, it's just going to make all the colors come together here, and it's going to look really good. So now it's time to do some dry brushing, or probably more of an overbrush, I should say. Now, I'm not using pure white here. I'm using like an off-white. I think it's called Mummy Robes from Army Painter. And I'm just using that dry brush technique where I put some paint on the brush, wipe it off with some paper towels, and I'm just going over all the model here. And as you can see, all the details are starting to pop out now. That undercoat is looking really good with this white. Undercoating is an awesome tool to use whenever you want a color to shine through over another color. And for this particular instance, it really looks like the dragon is a frosty snow dragon. So I'm just continuing here. I'm going to go a little bit more heavy around the face and I guess the fins of the head here on the dragon. I want those to be more prominent. Now I'm going to go in with some inks later on around the eyes. So right now I'm just being pretty aggressive with this dry brush. I want most of the model to be covered with this white, but since we did that nice undercoat, those blues are going to show through. So now I'm going to go in with some matte white once the dry brushing is done here. And I'm just going to kind of dot in the eyes here. Now the reason why I'm using white here is because I want the eyes to have a glowing effect. So the way you achieve that is you use some white and you put in the transparent inks, which we're going to do here in a second. And once I put in that blue ink, it is going to pop. So we're going to use the blue ink from Vallejo. And I'm going to go in here and look at that eye just pop out. Looks like it's got a OSL glowing effect. Pretty cool. Neat little trick that you can do. The inks are very versatile. Some of my favorite paints. There's just so many opportunities and so many things that you can do with them. It's just so cool, the effects that happen. So at this point, I thought the eyes looked good. But then I wanted it to be more intense, so I threw some more ink on there. I might have went a little overboard here, but I think it still looks great. This is fantasy, so you can have it however the hell you want it, right? Now it's time to work on the mouth. Gonna go in with some dragon red, and I'm just gonna be kind of sloppy with this and slap that dragon red all in that mouth. I want some good color contrast. I don't want the mouth to be too light because the model itself is already in light colors, so you can get away with putting a dark red in here, and I think it's going to be a good contrast. So once that dries, I'm going to go in with some pixie pink, and I'm going to highlight up the mouth here, and I'm just going to go on the tongue and go on the gummy areas of the mouth. Now I'm not too worried about the teeth right now. You can be messy and go over the teeth. Key thing to remember is if you work in layers. So the initial layer will be the dragon red, pixie pink, and so on. So we're going to go in with some skeleton bone here for the teeth. It is a really awesome color that simulates like some organic matter or organic bone or teeth. It's one of my favorite colors. So I'm just being pretty literal on the teeth here. Just going in and penciling those guys in. I'm going to go in with some matte black here and give the dragon a well-deserved pedicure here, or manicure. And last but not least, I'm going to work on the base, and I'm going to do the exact same color scheme that I did for the dragon. So I'm going to go in with that Void Shield blue, let it dry, and then I'm going to dry brush some mummy robes over it. And all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this came out. So with that being said, here goes some final action shots. Enjoy. well, there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the paint job. And if you did, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. It's free. It does help me out, so I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have an amazing week. There's more dragons coming up, so stay tuned.